This rich guy is extremely bossy. Please stop because he drinks and drives. He uses the money to chase away, but the police disagree. As a result, he ignores it and drives to continue. Finally, he stabs the police to brain shock. But he doesn't care, because he has dad's plutocrat. Apparently Pavel deals with the consequences for him so many times. He goes to the police station many times. The police start to pity Pavel. Pavel is also very powerless. The police recommend Grisha detention for 1 year. He also should rest, but Pavel can't give up on his beloved son. He wants Grisha to serve in the military. But before, he asked someone else to exempt Grisha from military service. Right at the moment, Pavel is not sure what to do. A friend shows him how. She knows a technical advisor specializing in horror film, Lev, so the girl becomes a bridge. Pavel and Lev get to know each other. After knowing about Grisha's situation, Lev asks if Pavel is willing to use any of the methods. So proceed with the plan. One night a month later, Grisha just walks out of the bar. He has seen his car pulls away. He chases angrily. A second later he feels into a coma. After waking up, Grisha arrives in the Tsarist period in 1860. Become a slave to others, Artyom is the same slave. Urging Grisha to work, Grisha is still in a dream state. Artyom tells him he's not even working. Its end, Grisha couldn't stand it. He finds himself kidnapped, want to get rid of this devilish place. He is running while shouting to the police, and he asks the passerby where the bus can be. When he runs out of the village, blocking by Black Bear outside the railing. He changes direction and continues to run. Finally, he stops by the wire mesh. Grisha angrily tells them not to act. After all, what movie are they doing? Artyom totally don't understand what he is saying. At this time the butler comes, seeing that Grisha is not working. Directly ties him up, ready to be taken to the choke platform. Grisha screams, wanting to invite a lawyer, wanting a fair trial. Grisha hypnotizes himself, all that, it's just a nightmare, but when he closes his eyes and opens them, Grisha is dumbfounded. Fortunately at this time, Aglaya's daughter the landlord arrives. She demands to release Grisha. But the butler do not dare to disobey the landlord. The landlord's son says that dare to run away will be hanged to death. Otherwise, all will run away. At this time the landlord comes. Aglaya takes the reason, please release Grisha. The landlord agrees with Aglaya. Grisha has never seen this scene, he goes to hell, really. Now in a windmill in the distance, a bunch of people are secretly observing it all. So this is Pavel and Lev's plan. Grisha is so pathetic, he thinks he is through fairy tale. In fact, this is the filming location that his father spends money to build. So his son can change. He brings Grisha to a small 19th century town to be slave. Many employees are waiting for orders. Pavel also gives up his busy job, concentrate on monitoring Grisha's movements. Obviously all are Lev's opinion. Change of living environment, just to change Grisha's bad habits. But want to have a deep-rooted concept in a short time. Obviously, it's as hard as going to heaven. In the room, the public actors begin to split the script, preparing for the next plan. Now the counselor at the back asks Artyom to speak the line. You told Grisha to work. Grisha suddenly come up with a thought. Maybe he do through fairy tale, like the movie.
В каком? Что он сказал, в каком?
Grisha is blank. Artyom feels he is about to be exposed. But Grisha lacks vision, tell him it's definitely color film. But in this era, perhaps can only watch black and white movies. Hearing this, Artyom and the crew behind are both relieved. One day, Grisha takes her horse to graze. It is very difficult to be lazy. Aglaya cries were heard, Grisha steps forward to comfort. This is an important scene in transformation. Grisha produces a feeling of sympathy, with other people's difficult circumstances. Is an extremely important kind of human sentiment. The landlord wants Aglaya to marry an old landlord, but Aglaya do not love him. Grisha is a sane person. Again, this is a good thing. He shares the strawberry in his hand to express comfort, then go away. Just leaving Aglaya puzzles, hidden camera. And Grisha is hungry. No good food for a long time. Stealing the landlord's chickens, preparing to improve the meal. Artyom not only is not allowed to share, also drags away by the butler and guilty of being beaten. Watch out for this transformation. Fail again, neither Grisha has no sympathy, nor has the courage to admit it. In the windmill, Pavel argues that extreme measures should be taken. Lev agrees. They need someone who lost their lives for Grisha. Only so can make him, intense emotional response. Grisha looks at the wounded Artyom, no sympathy in his eyes. Wanting to blame can only blame Artyom for being unlucky. And Pavel's friend is checking on the props. She discovered public actors wear watches, chocolate crust at the scene, eggs are laid out. There is also a logo. She tells the public actors who even break the job will be fired immediately. Having said that, public actress Liza exposes her clothing. Grisha pushes her down to test like a madman. Fortunately Liza is quick. She hides her clothes to solve this crisis. Pavel sees this scene in a frenzy. Grisha hasn't changed, is still a scum, but only a scum in another world. Pavel wants to use this ineffective transformation scheme. At this point in the camera suddenly a new situation occurs. Grisha actively comes to find Liza, hope she forgives him. This action causes Pavel. See Grisha's progress. The most anticipated once-a-year party has arrived. Campfire night is the best opportunity for boys and girls to find a lover. But in Grisha's eyes, this party is too boring to stir the atmosphere. He leads the musician, change the bland rhythm to the nightclub spirit. And he is DJ. He leads everyone to dance. Seeing Liza sitting alone on the side. Then enthusiastically he walks over to talk. Also talks about the 21st century with her. Now the crew tells Artyom to take Grisha to the lake. They are setting up a heroic drama that saves the beauty. And Grisha is talking passionately with Liza from phone to airplane. Liza even pretending she doesn't know anything followed him. At this point Artyom says to Grisha, Aglaya to the lake, hope nothing happens. This sentence reminds Grisha, he remembers what Aglaya tells him. Her father forces her to marry an old landlord. Surely she thinks uneasily. Wanting to jump into the lake to kill herself, he quickly goes to the lake. saves Aglaya. In return for saving lives, Aglaya wants to marry him. To evade, Grisha immediately leaves. This action makes Pavel bewildered, and Grisha goes back to the campfire to find Liza, watching him step by step to the break room. Everyone quickly put their clothes on. Grisha knocks on the door, which he naturally wants, to talk about the future with Liza. But Liza reasons that her father's health is not good. Deny him, and Lev is the director, seeing this decisive change, pushes the Liza woman up as the female lead. Today the butler rushes in and shouts something big happened. Tell the landlord, his son is drunk in the city. Riding a horse crashes into a city guard, causes the opponent to break a bone. Alexei trusts himself as an unrepentant aristocrat. Grisha watches with an admiring expression. And now they need to find one person to blame for this time. The main character is Grisha, chosen by the landlord. Grisha recommends Artyom. After all, he has experience of being beaten. The landlord tells the city guard all knew him, because he often goes to the city to buy things. Only you are suitable, he promises. As long as Grisha agrees, will release you. Before going, he gives half of the landlord a reward to Artyom. In the city of Grisha is beating 20 whips. Pavel in the back, don't be heartless. Even so, Grisha suffers enough suffering, nor is he free. The promise of the landlord is inherently nothing. Even Alexei aggressively humiliates Grisha. Grisha is furious, but he still has to endure, because he sees himself before. The next day for Grisha very sweet, he and Liza ride the horse to gossip, in this primeval village. Grisha also gradually adapts to life in the 19th century. But the main characters are Aglaya and Alexei, idle again, nothing to do. Two lonely actors have feelings for each other. After Grisha and Liza sees it, the nature of this scene changed again. Because in reality, Liza and Alexei are a couple. Grisha noticed that Liza is sad and unhappy. Immediately he takes the candlelit dinner into the stable. Then the two of them watch the moon on the roof. Liza is also shaken by Grisha's repentance. Akif sees this scene, also congratulations. Aglaya and Alexei are angry. Join the TV show, revealing the plans of Pavel and Lev. The lie is they're doing a crazy experiment. This also makes the attention of the police. Lev cannot help speeding up the plan, invite a professional action actor to come to rob women. After the precedent, the father fights to death to protect girls. Seeing Liza is taken away, Grisha hesitates again. Artyom encourages him to fight for Liza. As a result, Grisha turns to run again, all very disappoints about him. 3 minutes later the police also arrive. Pavel knows this kind of heroism, it's useless to Grisha. Ordinary people who see this scene are at least scared. At the same time Pavel orders to shoot the anesthetic with Grisha. Grisha goes into the stable. The next second he rides hand holding wooden stick back to the scene. Bravely brings Liza, runs away. The police quickly arrives at the village. The two of them burst out from the woods. Very similar to White Horse Prince and Princess. After that caught Grisha's eye is the state-of-the-art gas station. This confuses Grisha. Liza wants to explain everything. Grisha has been shot by anesthesia bullets. After regaining consciousness, Pavel speaks to Grisha. That day he goes out from the nightclub chasing a rickshaw. As a result, it takes 3 months to save you. Grisha returns to the life of the rich, but still a bit lacking. Until in the bar, after meeting Aglaya and Alexei, Grisha just finds the flawed part. In their hearts, under their lead, Liza and Grisha meet again. Grisha knows the truth. Knowing Pavel's suffering, expressing gratitude, he hands Liza, attend dad's wedding photo session. This rich guy goes on the right path. There is a precedent of success for Grisha. Sahoang era village become a business chain. Continuously receive rich children, wrong way. Let them find it gradually. His position in this society. They learn to be responsible and show their worth.